Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, we can do that. Yeah. What is happening, Boot Junkies? Mike Delgadio here, back with another video on home studio setup for voiceover. We've got 2 microphones in the booth today. They're going to make it look better in here. Better than this mug, that's for sure. 2 microphones in the booth today. 2 cool-looking, retro, stylish, atomic age, just cool-looking microphones. We're going to see if they're cool sounding microphones, aren't we? All right, so let's talk about what we have in the booth today. And we'll go into some of the features and we'll do a sound comparison between these 2 microphones, because I do think that these are 2 microphones that are often a toss-up for people. So let's do a comparison and see how they sound and see if one of them or both of them or neither of them or something is right for you. What do we have in the booth here today, Mike? Well, let's talk about it. This one comes to us from a fellow booth junkie on loan for a couple of weeks. This is from my friend Zach. Zach, thank you so much for loaning me your Shure Super 55 Deluxe Vocal Super Cardioid Dynamic microphone. We're going to call it the Shure Super 55. This is a dynamic super cardioid microphone on loan from Zach. Thanks, Zach. And this one is Heil's The Fin Cardioid Dynamic microphone on loan to us from Mike from the Two Guys Talkin' Podcast Network. If you're in St. Louis, you got to make yourself a podcast, talk to my man Mike. I'll put a link down in the description to the Two Guys Talkin' Podcast Network. And he was kind enough to loan me the Fin for a shootout in today's video. All right, so let's talk about them. Let's talk about them, shall we? Okay, so as I said, first, these are both dynamic microphones, which means they do not require phantom power. They are not condenser microphones. They are dynamic microphones. Dynamic microphones are usually less hot microphones. They're not as powerful. You have to turn the gain way up on your preamps. I have the gain about 95% of the way up on these preamps. They're not quite as power hungry as something like a Shure SM7B, although they are reasonably power hungry microphones. You do need to turn those preamps way up, which means you may hear a little bit of underlying hiss in your preamp. So if you got to crank them way up, sometimes you'll get a little bit of that underlying hiss. Just the nature of the dynamic microphone. You can alleviate that by adding something like a FET head or a cloud lifter to your chain. Adds significantly to the cost because that adds another $100, $150 to the cost. But if you've got a preamp with enough gain, these dynamic microphones, they should work just fine. So they are dynamic microphones. These are 2 different patterns of microphones. Similar, but different patterns of microphones. Starting with the Shure Super 55, this is a super cardioid pattern microphone, whereas the Fin is a cardioid pattern microphone. And really, all of that means, super's not better. Super means it is a narrower, more focused pattern of sensitivity in the front of the microphone. Cardioid patterns tend to be very wide, so about 90 degrees out on either side. You can move to the side of that microphone, and the microphone's still going to pick your voice up. On the super cardioid, as you move over to the side, it falls off a little bit earlier. Now, for the most part, if you're standing right in front of that microphone, it doesn't really make that much of a difference in voiceover for your voice. Where it can help a little bit with the super cardioid pattern is if you do have a source of noise to the side. This can help a little bit alleviate sensitivity to that noise. So if you've got a computer or a fan or a Rode and you put it off to the side, behind the microphone, like at the 10 or 2 o'clock position, you focus that noise over in that area. That will help. On the cardioid, you really just want to have the back of the microphone to the noise. And that's going to help alleviate it. They are also, with a dynamic microphone, they tend to become less sensitive as you move away from the microphone, they will lose their sensitivity and be less sensitive to the air, to the ambience around you at a closer distance. So as you get farther away, I'm only a foot, 12, 15 inches off the microphone right here, and it should sound reasonably quiet on both of these microphones. Dynamics really like it when you're up close to them. And that can also help in a less than ideal acoustic environment. Now, I'm here in my whisper room. This is actually a pretty good acoustic environment. But if you're out in a room that isn't perfectly acoustically treated, dynamics can help in that respect because they're less sensitive, not insensitive to room reflections and reverb, less sensitive. So you'll just want to get right up on these microphones, get really close to them, and that should help eliminate or reduce the perception of the sound of the echoes around you. And that's sort of the nature of the dynamics. You want to get right up. You want to get right up on them. Okay, supercardioid, cardioid. For all intents and purposes, not a ton of difference between them, but there is a slight difference in the sensitivity from the back and from the sides. Dynamic microphones tend to have a smaller frequency response than something like a large diaphragm condenser microphone. So many large diaphragm condenser mics that require phantom power will have sensitivity over the entire range of human hearing, from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Very common to have them be sensitive over the entire range of human hearing. Whereas dynamics tend to not be sensitive all the way up to the upper reaches of human hearing. These are no different. So it's very common for it to say 15, 17, 18,000 kilohertz is where 15 to 18 kilohertz is where it will start to fall off. I think the Shure Super 55 is sensitive to 17,000 hertz, and the Fin is sensitive to 18,000 hertz. But up in that difference, that's a pretty negligible difference. And they both tend to be a little bit less sensitive on the bass side, too. So this is sensitive down to 60 hertz, sensitive down to 50 hertz. Very similar. The Heil claims a ever so slightly wider frequency response, and that might be reflected ever so slightly in the sound. Let's talk about the sound. I have found in my testing that these two microphones are extremely similar sounding. They are maybe not identical. I don't think any two microphones are identical sounding, but these are two very similar sounding microphones. So as I switch back and forth, you may notice a tiny bit of difference, but for me, these two are extremely similar sounding microphones. So if you're looking for a microphone that is going to appear on camera, one of the real advantages to the beauty of these microphones is how good they look. They look good on camera. And so if you're trying to choose one based on its looks and you want to make sure you still get a good sound, I find the sound not perfectly indistinguishable, but I don't find there to be a very significant difference between them. So I do think they sound very similar. They both have, internally, foam inside these grills that acts as a windscreen, a pop filter, which is nice. So for these microphones, since they are as much about their look as their sound, you don't want to have a great big pop filter in front of them, especially if you're on camera. So it does help that both of these have foam inserts that help protect from wind. And I do think it comes in different colors. I happen to, by coincidence, get blue for both of them from both of the two booth junkies that sent it to me. But they do come in different colors. I think by default, the Shure 55, the Super 55, is typically black, but you can also get it in blue, as we have here, red, and I don't know. I think you can also get the finish can also be sort of a matte black, I think. The Fin, I think also comes in different colors. I'm not positive of that. I've only seen the blue, but we do have it here. I can't say that I've seen it in other colors. Now I should know that, shouldn't I? Let's just look real quick. Yeah, It does come in different colors: red, white, blue, different colors. Okay, I was talking about the pop filter. I do think, from my limited testing, that the Shure's pop filter, while neither of them are perfect, they don't stop all the plosives. I do find that the Super 55's pop filter, I do think, is ever so slightly more effective than the pop filter on the Heil fin. I do think that the fin does. It might be because the foam is a bit thinner. We'll talk about that in 1 second. I think the foam is a tiny bit thinner on the fin, and it does, I think, let a little bit of plosives through. It's not significant, but I do find that I think the plosives do go through the fin a little bit more. Why do I think that the foam is thinner? Because this one has one extra feature, and you can kind of see it. Because these are dynamics, they don't require phantom power. However, I have phantom power turned on the fin, and that's because it's got lights on it. Look at that. This microphone lights up. That's cool. You don't have to light it up, but it does have LEDs built into it that do light the microphone up. And there's a little switch on the underside. I'm not going to click it, but there's a switch on the underside that will just turn the lights off. Doesn't turn the sound off on the microphone, just turn the lights off, but it does introduce a click, and I don't want to introduce a click downstream. You do have to be careful of that. You want to have your gain turned down if you do that. But the switch itself doesn't do anything. Now, this Super 55, no switches, no buttons, no nothing. Because they're dynamics, I do find, I don't know if it's because they're dynamics, but I do find that neither of these have a strong proximity effect. So as you get closer to the microphones, I don't find that they sound particularly bassy. On either one of these microphones, I do think that they do change ever so slightly in tonality, especially the fin as you get up close to it. I do find that the fin does change a little tiny bit in tone as you get up close to it, and the Super 55 tends to be a little bit more the same, both on the up close and far away. You sound the same, but neither of them displays a strong proximity effect. The proximity effect is the tendency for a microphone to get bassier as you get closer to it. It will sound bassier, it will change in EQ, and I think that's because they both roll off pretty much below 60 hertz. That's where that proximity, that bass really starts to come in. Many microphones have switches to reduce the bass response to get rid of that proximity effect. These are just naturally insensitive down at that level, so they don't display a lot of proximity effect. Lastly, we'll talk about the look. I mean, if you're looking for a microphone that needs to sound good, but also needs to look good on camera, I think you could choose either one of these microphones. They both have that sort of retro futuristic look to it. I think the Super 55 is the more classic look because I think this is one of the microphones whose retro look it's based on. I think the Super 55 has actually been around for quite a while, or once of its ilk. I don't know if it's always been the Super 55, but this microphone, this design has been around for a long time. Whereas the fin sort of takes this retro look and, amps it up even a bit more by making it, instead of being a satin finish, it's a high chrome finish. It's got this fin on the top, this styling to it that makes it look cool. This one, if you recall from the Hunger Games, this was a microphone. This was used as a prop on stage during the reaping scene. I'll put a screen cap of it. This was during that reaping scene where Katniss volunteers. This is the microphone from that movie. Sort of a really cool retro futuristic styling. I don't know. For me, I live here in the booth. How the microphone looks is less important to me. But if you are going to be on camera, then maybe how it looks will be important to you. Sometimes that really matters. And I think both of these microphones look good, and I think both of these microphones sound really good. I haven't been off-put by this at all, and I do think they sound really similar. So let's talk price. I don't think I mentioned that before. These are two really similar in price point. As I looked on Amazon at the most recent pricing, the fin, let me just pull it up here, make sure I say it right. The fin is $220, And the Super 55. Now this is interesting. It says if the Super 55 is $249, a little bit more expensive. But if you go with matte black, just changes the outside. Goes for $300. They charge you $50 to take the shine off. Just dip it in plastic, dip it. No, don't do that. But they are two very similar price points. They are two very similar sound, two somewhat similar looks. They both have that retro design. But really, I think it can come down to which one do you like the look better? Do you like the lights? Do you need the lights? Do you like the design of it? I don't know. It's going to come down to it. You've heard them both. You've heard me go back and forth on both of these. Do you think one sounds better, worse? I think they sound really similar. I'm really happy with the way both of these sound. And I'm so grateful to both Zach and to Mike for sharing these with me. It's been really cool. Really cool. I hadn't really spoken into either of these microphones before. So this has been a real privilege. Thank you so much. That's all I have for you. I hope that helps. Hope that makes you help make a choice between these. So if you've been looking for a retro mic to use in your blog or on your YouTube channel, then now you've heard both of these. And maybe it helps you make a decision. I certainly hope so. Now, go out there, get yourself a microphone, maybe a retro, super futuristic looking microphone, but get yourself a microphone, any microphone, so you can get out there. You can record something amazing. Thanks. We'll talk to you next time.